You ready? You ready? Whoops. All right. Woohoo! Hi YouTube friends, welcome back to the channel. It's a cool gray day, and I thought this was the perfect opportunity before much of the grass goes to sleep for the winter to follow the trail of our most recent chicken tractor and show you what happens to the pasture when you drag portable pens around on it with chickens inside. So we began right around here, and well, actually right over here somewhere, and we progressed through, let me back up for perspective, through this area here, and you'll notice it's much greener over there than it is over here, and that's because I pulled the tractor along through here. And as we round the corner here, hopefully you can see in the not so distant distance there that green stripe. You'll also notice as I walk along that there are some bare patches. That's because there was annual grasses growing there, and you'll see scraps of wood. These I use to fill in under the edges because the ground is uneven. Sometimes it's nice to have little pieces of scrap to stick into the low spots along the side of the coop, because after all, it's 12 feet long. So as we walk along, you can see less green, less green, more green, and it continues on like this. You can follow the exact path that I've taken across this pasture. This is the very top of the property. That's the highest corner of the property right there, and this was kind of fun, pulling a chicken tractor along this slope. But with fancy schmancy chicken tractor 2.0, it was much lighter, and you can see that the annual grasses are taking a nap now. But even though this area here was devastated by the presence of chickens for a day, we see the cool season things beginning to thrive, and that means white clover is coming in all through here. We're getting into the fescue zone here, where we have much taller grass, and it stays alive through the winter. And it's really obvious from this perspective where the chicken tractors were, or chicken tractor was. Now this is the first time that I've ever run tractors across this particular patch up here on the hill, because the fancy schmancy chicken tractor 1.0 was really just too heavy. So more green. Next stop right here. There are gaps between some of the locations as we go along because of the terrain and obstructions, like that gap in the fence right there. From there to there used to have another post in it. I thought I could get the tractor through there. I couldn't, so I used that post puller upper and took a big step across there. And it's interesting how square, even in the highest areas of highest impact, this is the end where they feed, and they tend to roost or sleep on the downhill end of their coop. But where they didn't damage the grass from walking on it, you can see that green stripe that runs right there. That's the edge. It's darker green. That was underneath the wood on the side of the chicken tractor. And the mohawks, if you see this pattern, this is caused by the feed trough jutting out into the coop right there. Now, from this location, I'm going to get a side view of this. You can see really dark green grass right through here. This is an area that got 2 tractors worth. So this path goes, they intersect right there. This path goes forward, and then along the right hand side of that area, that pathway over there. And the most recent path came straight through here and across this somewhat bare area here. There was excavation that took place here when I ran water from the well, which is up by the house. It came right through here, and so this ground here really needed some fertility, and you can see that it got it, but it's still, parts of it are covered in poo and somewhat bare. We're getting closer and closer to the chicken tractor in its current location, and so instead of seeing greener recovered areas like that obvious stripe going up the hill there, now, since the chicken tractor is just up the way here, right there, you can see brown patches everywhere that we parked the chicken tractor. And once I get to right here, it'll be really obvious as you look forward at the chicken tractor, which is right there. On the left side of the brown trail is light green. On the right side is dark green, even though this is where I drive the truck through, and the tractor, you can actually see my tracks. It is much darker on this side because 3 tractor trips have made it across and back here, as well as out beyond the gate there. And we're getting near the harvest of these chickens here, and they're getting a special treat today because we're getting a taste of winter. And even at 2-a-day moves, they're really impacting the ground here. But they're getting a special treat today, and that is bedding. With the cold weather and a chance of rain, these chickens that are very near to their harvest, they'll be harvested next week actually, they're getting a little bedding to sleep in tonight so they can get extra snuggly and hopefully make it through the night. There's a thing with chickens. They don't mind the cold. Actually, they're pretty good at handling it. Living outdoors in the cool, with the cool nights lately, they've feathered out much more than they typically do during the summer. They should do perfectly fine, but chickens can be wet and chickens can be cold, but they can't be wet and cold at the same time. And so with a chance of rain from this not so summery sky, I just thought it would be a good idea to give them some bedding to get them up off the ground. And they have a tendency, if you notice, along here and along the other hillside, to sleep on the downhill side of their ground, and they do a lot of pooping overnight. And so you can see very clearly more impact on the downhill side, and the more dramatic the slope is, the more dramatic the imbalance is. So that's a quick update. I know I haven't talked about the chickens a lot this summer because I've been so busy, but it's been a great year. We've been very productive, and we've been very successful at the market, and we owe that to great people like you who follow us, watch us, and want good food like us. We love doing this. So that's the symbiosis between the chickens and the pasture. Right now, it's disturbed and looking pretty crappy, but as we can still see in the distance there, it will recover even better than before. Dark green, light green. Next year, we plan to use even more pasture. We had piglets in here for a little while, and you can see on that side, light green, and then from this view, about where that post is, left, much darker green, because the pigs, just like chickens, make a lot of deposits, and we have very lush green grass, which they will get to graze again soon, actually. So they get to eat an extra dose of nutrition in their grass, thanks to the impact that they've made. Now, I seldom show this view unless we're standing down in the hog pens. But this gate here leads out to the world. That's the trailer from the videos. We're going to be seeing a little more of that here real soon, because it's time to take hogs to the processor again. But I want to note how you can see even out here dark stripes where I went down this hill towards those forget what those are called, Jerusalem artichokes, made a U-turn and came back up the hill, and you can see over there darker green, lighter green, and then pretty obvious coming from the back of that trailer down through here, another dark green stripe, where I came back around the trailer and then back down in that direction. So this area here we're going to utilize much more. I made a couple of laps through here with the chicken tractor as a test. I have had hogs out here before, and I have had goats out here before, and this is pretty good pasture. So I have to work out exactly how and when, because this is my access road into and out of the farm. That gate, which I left open, is the entry point when I bring the truck in, or the trailer out, things like that. And you can see the biggest impact was over here, but I have to time my crossings through here. So I'm gonna do some scheming this winter and see what the best way is to traverse that terrain, which is slopey. 12-foot tractor is useful because it holds a lot of chickens, but because of its length, when I cross over the transition points from the terraces to the slopes, it's a little difficult to keep full contact with the ground, which is really important because we sure don't want the food escaping. Another plan, you can see I took a tractor down through here too. Another part of the plan is to utilize the top of the dam on the lower pond, the top of the dam on the upper pond, and find as many paths that will last roughly 8.5 weeks. Actually, they're not on pasture that entire time because they're in the brooder for a couple of weeks. So 5 to 6 weeks worth of moves. Hi guys, looking great. Keep it up. All right, so that's how pastured poultry works here at Thistle Draw. I just feel like pointing out the symbiotic relationship between the ground, the grass, and the chickens, and how they feed each other. So if you're still here, thanks so much for stopping by. I really do appreciate you. And I hope you're having a great day. And if you're not in North Carolina, well, today, even if you are, I hope you're staying warm. Thanks again, and bye.